Do you think that employees have the right to have a Bible study with other fellow employees during their break or lunch hour?
I think they do. I think they have the right to study anything they choose on their own time, and their break and lunch hour would be their own time.
Okay. What would you say, or how would you feel if you could not have a Bible study during your break?
Sad. Very sad.
Sad.
I don't think that would be right. I think you have the right to do that on your own time.
Yeah. If a state employee doesn't want to work on a Sunday due to their religious beliefs, what are their rights?
I honestly do not know for sure. I would think that it was. What was the question again?
It is, if a state employee does not want to work on Sundays due to his or her religious beliefs, what are their rights?
I would think that they would have the right to make that choice, that if they don't want to work on Sunday, that they would not have to do that if it interfered with their religion. I would think they would need to discuss that when they were going into taking the job and figure that out on the front end before they actually took a job.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Have the right to have a Bible study with other fellow employees during their break or lunch hour.
Yes, they do. What they do during their break or lunch hour, as long as it doesn't affect their business, they have that right to do. It's their business.
What would you say and how would you feel if some person could not have a Bible study during their break?
Personally, it would make me angry because that's my right as a person, my religious freedoms to do what I want during my time.
If a state employee does not want to work on Sunday due to his or her religious beliefs, what are their rights?
They have the right going into a job to say that I won't work on Sundays, and they do have that right. Now, if they're hired in with the precept that we have to work on Sundays and they take that job, they can't go back and change it. But they do have the right to say, you know, Sundays are my day to spend time with church and my family, and I would not like to work on those days. And as long as it doesn't interfere with their contract that they go in and signed at the beginning, they have that right.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. And may God be with you.
Do you think that employees have the right to have a Bible study with their fellow employees during break or lunch hour?
Yes, I do, because of the simple fact that it's their free time and they should do what they feel by this being a free country and by them having, you know, their own rights, and they should do whatever they feel as long as they don't, you know, interfere with their work, you know, as being a teacher. So I think that's right.
Okay. What would you say or how would you feel if you could not have a Bible study during a break or lunch hour?
I'll be hurt. Like I said before, this is a free country. And it's like you trying to hold me, enslave me with my rights. Because by me not being able to do what I feel and by me not, you know, harming anybody, I'm just sharing my beliefs with me and somebody having a mutual feeling on a subject. So I don't see why we can't communicate about it. So.
Okay. If a state employee does not want to work on Sunday due to his or her religious beliefs, what do you think their rights are?
I mean, I think their rights, should stand because, like, if that's something they don't want to do, and then if they talked about it before, because, like, once again, it's a free country. Everybody don't believe in the same thing, so I think there should be some type of compromise there. But I feel that should be done before they sign the contract of their job.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Mr. Reed.
Yes.
Are you a professor at Faith Academy?
Sure. I'm a teacher at Faith Academy.
Do you think you have the right to have Bible studies on your lunch breaks or off hours?
Okay. Is this just Faith Academy or any place?
If you work at any place.
If you work at any place. There has been questions in the public about what a person is able to do concerning their religious beliefs at a job that is not related to religion. And according to a few people like Jay Sekulow for the American Centers of Law and Justice and a few other people, they've gone to court and actually seen that they're able to have any kind of a meeting during an off time, like a lunch break, any kind of a break throughout the day. People can congregate and meet in almost any way that they want to that is not illegal. And it is not illegal yet to have Bible studies or anything during personal time.
So how would you feel if you could not have a Bible study?
Well, that would fundamentally go against our First Amendment rights. People can assemble peaceably to do almost anything in this country, whether it is read the Bible, protest reading the Bible. Just this past Sunday, there was a group of people in California who were atheists that tore up specific pages out of the Bible. Pages out of Leviticus 18 and 19, pages out of Romans 1. They have their right to do that under the Constitution just as much as we have our right to convene and have a Bible study.
So, Mr. Reed, if you were a state employee and you're not working at Faith Academy and you do not work on Sunday due to your religious beliefs, do you think what are your rights to this?
All right, the question being, is it okay for a person not to work on a certain day regarding their religious beliefs?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A couple of court cases, a couple of other things, and even the Establishment Clause in the Constitution says that publicly we have the right to be given a certain kind of accommodation to allow us to practice our religion. So there are all kind of calendar holidays that, whether it's Jewish, Christian, Islamic, there are a lot of different holidays that are already on the calendar that are allowed work exempt days. And if a person is able to work out with their employer a schedule that is mutually beneficial, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to take off Sunday to go and observe their religious beliefs, as long as they're able to in some way compensate that employer for the rest of the week. They can't have every day off for a religious holiday. If it's Sunday from 10 to 1 or whatever to go to church, that's probably an accommodation that is what can be considered appropriate. That's all your questions?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Thank you.
And now, Ashley will read the rights of workers concerning their religious beliefs, and then I will talk to you about a court case called Sherbert v. Verner.
The First Amendment to the United States Constitution does not require the censorship of private religious speech, such as a voluntary Bible study that happens to occur on government property. To the contrary, the First Amendment protects such religious expression from government censorship on the basis of its religious content. The Constitution affirmatively mandates accommodation, not merely tolerance of all religion, and forbids hostility towards any. It is a fundamental proposition of constitutional law that the government may not suppress a private citizen's speech solely because that speech is religious. Private religious speech, far from being a First Amendment orphan, is fully protected under the Free Speech Clause as secular private expression. According to the First Amendment, they have freedom of religion, and an employer cannot discriminate against a person's work schedule if they are told before the job is offered, such as on Sundays or in the court case Sherbert v. Verner.
Sherbert v. Verner. The court case Sherbert v. Verner was argued April 24, 1963 and decided on June 17, 1963. The case was in which the Supreme Court of the United States held that the Free Exercise Clause of the First Amendment required that government demonstrate a compelling government interest before denying unemployment compensation to someone who was fired because her job conflicted with her religion. Adele Sherbert, a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, worked as a textile mill operator. 2 years after her conversion to that faith, her employer switched from a 5-day to a 6-day work week, including Saturdays. Since, according to her belief, she refused to work that day and she was fired. Her claim was denied, and Employment Security Commission's decision was affirmed by a state trial court and the South Carolina Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, in a 7-2 decision, reversed the commission and the lower courts, finding that denying Sherbert's claim was an unconstitutional burden on the free exercise of her religion. In a characteristic formalist reading of the relevant law, a man named Harlan argued that the commission denied Sherbert unemployment based on the same reason they might any secular claimant that was not available for work. The court then decided that Sherbert was protested under the First Amendment. Do you think that employees have the right to have a Bible study with other? Hello, fellow classmates. Me and Ashley, and now me and Ashley. Got it.
I can't just take it serious.
Oh my God.